Nice stuff.
Nice shortly. Shki is 8:37. Waiting for Shki. By David Moshe, Rosh Mattos. זה הדבר שהציע השם לאמור. The word Mattos also could be attached, could be translated from very, very humble, very low. Mattos, matel, low. Roche could be the spitz, the very peak, when the very heights of despair, when the very heights of tragedy seems to surround us. So we should know that Zeh HaDover Asher Tziva Hashem Lemor. This is all from the Hashgoche, what that the Rebbe Shalom was going around and the Bri and the human beings. There was a few Hamish businessmen, Yiddish businessmen, had a very important appointment with a law firm that takes $500 an hour in order to complete a very, very profitable business contract. They had to go through this process. So the appointment was for 9:30. They have a driver. They're driving into Manhattan, and they're coming down 51st Street. So they told the driver make a right on 51st. So the driver, instead of a right, he made a left. He made a left. He went down a one-way street the wrong way. Go in Manhattan, Kricharois. When you go down a wrong street, it's a one-way street the wrong way until you Tarishkich and Tarishkich and Abon Shon Bamidbar until you crawl out of there. So he makes the next right to try to correct himself, and the next block is there's construction. He can't go up there, and the clock is ticking away. Kids are first town, important appointment, seconds, minutes. They go to the next block. A car is disabled, until they kricharois to finally make a right. It's already 9:30, and there's somebody sitting on the sidewalk, and convicts are autumn, and he's screaming for water, for water, water, water. How could you ignore something like that? So they had a bottle of water in the car. They get out, and they give it to him. They say, "Oi, oi, oi, you're out of it, oi, oi." He said he was together with a whole group of people that were supposed to meet, and in the extreme heat, he got lost. So they got late till they found him, and he showed me he's dehydrating. So the little bit of water to him, you're out of it, but they couldn't just leave him there because he still needed some sort of care. So they had to go quickly to the nearest urgent care or something, and dropped him off there, and then they went to their appointment. So they come into the office, this expensive lawyer, and the secretary says, "What is your name?" He says, "The name is so-and-so." He says, "Oh no, your appointment is tomorrow, not today." So Rosh Hashanah, even the spitz of despair, Zeh HaDover, that was all Min HaShamayim, Hashkoch Pratis, that they had to make that mistake and be on that street at that time when he finished the House in the shoulder. So it was a Hatzos, the Kohen before Hatzos before. Pasuk steht, like Simcha Koifer, Lonus, Lir Miklotoi. You shouldn't take a ransom, a pidin shvuim, that he shouldn't have to go. Somebody who was a human homicide, unintentional manslaughter. Vishoyge mentioned, so he has to run Torah Mikvah. So you shouldn't take You shouldn't try to buy your way out with a kofer. Not go to a miklat. One was not to run there. Loshu Loshevis, or to sit and to remain in Ori Miklat, Ad Moisa Kohen until the Kohen died. So, what kind of Havamine, what was the pshat? What pshat these psukim? What kind of Havamine would be that with a kofer, with a redemption, you should be able to buy himself, you shouldn't go into Ori Miklat. Ori Miklat is not only a noinish, but it's has social forces. It's an asylum. It's for the safety of the one who committed homicide, because the Goy Adam, the next of kin, his blood is boiling, and it will be out of the situation to circulate between the oilam. It's life-threatening. What kind of favor is that? That he should be able to buy himself a havamit, buy himself with a kofer. So Masei says that this refers in the Mishnah state of Chananis Kana Kohanim Omer had Mishpal Shlim Shalmalus. Chananis Kana, he was the vice kohen gadol, vice kohen gadol. What's a vice kohen gadol? A vice kohen gadol is that you always be prepared. If something happens to the kohen gadol, so the vice kohen gadol should take over. What's the pshat? Skan HaKohanim. He was a plural, Loshen Rabin. He was the kohen gadol, the skan for many kohanim. How could that be? Once the kohen gadol never is taken from us, he takes over. Well, how is he for many? So, because this is talking about that Kufi, that period of the second Beis HaMikdash. And it was under Roman rule, so it was not under the Klal Yisrael to a point where Kohen Gadol should be. Wasn't the usual way that the Mamane appointed the Kohen Gadol. It was in the hands of the Roman leadership, and they realized that Kohen Gadol has control of the Klal Yisrael, of the citizens. So they wanted somebody that would be subjugated, somebody subservient, who would listen to their rule. He would, whatever they would tell him to do, he would be a puppet. So many of them bought their job. And they were not fit to be a Kohen Gadol. Because they were not fit to be a Kohen Gadol, they did many things that was sakos and Parshas next halacha, and it cost them their lives. So they had kitzur yomim. They didn't live out their days. And so as a result, he was a skan kohen gadol, advice for many kohen gadolim. So this is Masei, that's the pshat. L'shivul kofer. Don't think that that's the way to go out of Ori Miklat with the normal, because a so-called kohen gadol died. You can't go away from Ori Miklat. No loshu losheves, you have to remain there at Moisa Kohen until the nemeser kohen gadol dies. Then you can leave, but not then. And to that, I want to add that Balamoyer says that what's the reason, the tam, why someone who killed a homicide, someone who leaves Ori Miklat with Mishus Kohen Gadol, he said because the loss of a Kohen Gadol is felt so deeply by each and every yochid of Klal Yisrael, so their own personal loss gets overshadowed. They completely forgot that they lost a korah, so maybe the Rotzeach, one who killed unintentionally, his life will not be in danger by going out between human beings. So that's the shot. Also here, that only when a real kohen gadol dies, then it'll be safe for him to go. Only that is real as a kohen nefesh. Chanani ben Akashi Omer, what's our kohen gadol zakish Yisrael? If you can hear him to mitzvah Shneimar, Adlei Chov is mantiv ko yagul terbiyan.